Hello, I'm Margo.
And I'm Pam. It's a weekend night. I'm feeling fiery. I think we should go to Salem, Massachusetts.
Oh, I like the sound of that. I must apologise, Pam. I've got no glasses, so I
What
can't.
happened?
Oh, I sat on them.
They were already broken and now you full broke them.
I know I
Oh,
full
Lord.
broken them. I'd forgotten I put them on my chair and I sat down and thought I'd done myself a bit of a mischief. I had heard that there's a pioneer village in Salem. You can see what it was like when the people first arrived.
What was it like?
Well, it was just like houses, no shops, and muddy streets. And they put all like the objet d'art of the time dotted around so you can think, oh, is that how they peeled an apple? That's interesting. Never thought you'd use one of those to peel a potato, but if it works, it works.
A peeler's a peeler. When you think about Salem is the witches. There were 19 people accused, mostly women, and they had the Salem Witch Trials in 1692. They got a witch museum there in Salem.
A witch museum?
That whole area is called New England because why?
Old England went over there.
They didn't change the name to Old England though, and they kept New England, which is weird.
Like York and New York. But then there's Boston and Boston. Because there's a Boston in Lincolnshire and there's a Boston where they all came from, and there's a Boston in Massachusetts.
You're blowing my mind.
Maybe the people who were witches knew this and they blew the minds of the people and it just made them not like them.
For hundreds of years, people were getting accused of witchcraft, and it was a crime. A witch was defined as an individual who made a pact with the devil and in return gained sinister supernatural powers. That's what they define a witch as, okay?
Oh.
And were accused of committing the worst imaginable crimes.
You know what? It was a very bleak life. The good thing is about now is that we've got nylon, isn't it? Think about it. You can make a lovely wind cheater out of nylon, can't you? You can make a nice little house. In those days, they didn't have no nylon. It was all wood, wasn't it? Timber.
Yeah, wood.
Heavy.
Mud.
I wonder if these witches in Salem, I wonder if they lived in mud houses, because I could imagine people finding that a bit strange.
Yeah, that would be strange. So I'm going to read more.
Oh, please do.
Today, the Salem Trials of 1692 are perhaps the most well-known series of witchcraft trials in the Western world. The witch trials took place over a span of 300 years.
300 years?
Yeah. So the Salem Witch Trials, that was a shorter period of time, but overall, in 300 years, in total, about 45,000 people were executed for the crime of witchcraft, 75% of whom were women.
No.
Yeah.
45,000.
45,000. That's insane.
To be executed for being a witch.
Which aren't real.
Oh, those poor
45,000 people. This is the history of witches. Let me tell you a little bit about the actual Salem Witch Trials.
I'm listening. I just got a bit closer so I can see your face.
In January of 1692, 9-year-old Betty Paris and 11-year-old Abigail Williams, the daughter and niece of Salem village minister Reverend Samuel Paris, suddenly feel ill. Making strange foreign sounds, huddling under furniture and clutching their heads. The girls' symptoms were alarming and astounding to their parents and neighbors. When neither prayer nor medicine helped out here, children were suffering from the effects of witchcraft. Come on. At those ages, baby, it was puberty. Some of my worst periods were when I was 16. Good God. I'm really sorry to half of my gym class in 8th grade. I was really cranky for a week. So these two girls, they complained that disembodied spirits were stabbing them and choking them and jabbing them with pins. Names were cried out as the afflicted girls began to identify these specters. So they just started naming all these random people. Over the course of the year 1692, between 150 to 200 people were jailed for witchcraft. Ultimately, 14 women and 5 men were hung. One man was tortured to death, and at least 5 people perished in prison.
Oh, those poor bastards. Oh, dear me.
It was the largest series of witchcraft trials ever to take place in North America.
What happened to those girls then? Did it just stop? Did they get old?
Here we go. This is what happened to Betty. She married a shoemaker and had 5 kids and died in 1760. So she was fine. Abigail gave her last testimony before the court in early June 1692, and there's no record of her life after the trials. I gotta tell you, normally our travels are a little light and kind of fun, and witchcraft, everyone's like, ooh, witches. This is heavy and dark.
Because you know what, as well, normally we like to go and see what food people eat and stuff like that. But to be quite honest, I've lost my appetite.
I lost my appetite too. It's a good thing I already have dinner. Oh my lord.
So I just stopped, built a tan, and well,
Yeah.
putting in some plumbing.
You want to hear some good news?
Yeah.
As years passed, some offered apologies for their role in the witchcraft trials, and restitution was eventually paid to many of the victims and their families. In 1697, the Massachusetts General Court ordered a day of fasting and prayer in atonement for errors made by the colony, including the witchcraft trials. Though a resolution was passed in 1711, 7 individuals were not included by name and thus technically remained convicted of witchcraft.
Oh.
In 1945, a bill was introduced into legislation to clear 6 of the names. 12 years later, a resolution was passed that pardoned certain other persons. However, these persons were yet to be formally named. 5 of the missing names were finally added to the resolve in October of 2001, formally declaring the innocence of Bridget Bishop, Susanna Martin, Alice Parker, Margaret Scott, and Wilmot Red. Unfortunately, one last name, that of Elizabeth Johnson Jr., was missed in the 2001 results. Inspired by a talk given by historian Richard Height, a group of middle school students in North Andover, Massachusetts, took it upon themselves to clear the remaining name. The last case was finally resolved in the summer of 2022. So all these girls got their, and guys, they all got their names cleared, and it took how many hundreds of years? Now, there is a cemetery that's in Salem, Massachusetts. And they got all those people from hundreds of years ago buried. They're all laying there and they all got headstones. But nothing was done for the people of the Salem Witch Trials. So now, what they got, right next to that cemetery, overlooking the people who judged them, they have a nice monumental garden. And it is 19 spots with like places to sit with all the people who were accused. It has their names and how long they were alive, and people go and like, you know, give homage to them and like maybe put a couple bucks down or change or rocks or something like that to honor them. And I think that's beautiful because you know what? At the end of the day, they were just women and men. They didn't do anything wrong, but they cannot have people acting differently than them. And that small-minded thinking is what is wrong with what happened at the Salem Witch Trials.